Oh man, it doesn't get any prettier than that. Sunset in California. That's over on the Coronado side. And across the Coronado Bridge, right at the foot of it, lies Petco Park. This is the final game of the season between the Rockies and Padres. It's the rubber game of this three-game set as the Rockies prevailed 3-2 last night. And welcome everybody upstairs. Another beautiful evening in San Diego. Glad as always that you're along with us with my partner Jeff Houston. I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies won 3-2 last night because Drew Stubbs hit a home run in the 8th inning to give the Rockies the advantage. An extraordinary defense prevailed, particularly from a left fielder and a second baseman.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the second baseman right now because of what he has done not only last night, but over the course of his career. To make this play with 2 outs in the 9th inning to preserve the victory, I mean, we see it all the time and it almost becomes routine, but it's not, because that is not an easy play. DJ's only made 6 errors all year long. You talk about being able to turn double plays in the clutch, and when guys are right on you, DJ can do that. The assist, the WAR, everything that is measured by a defensive metric, he's at the top of the list.
And maybe most importantly, he's at the top of the list of his teammates.
He's the best there is. He's as good as I've seen, and he deserves a Gold Glove this year.
It's like a vacuum thing, just sucks right up into that glove, and if he can get to it, he's going to catch it.
I want the ball hit to him every time. So even just like Nolan, him and Nolan are on the same level in my opinion, just at their respective positions. So I really hope he wins the Gold Glove. He definitely deserves it.
His ability to move and get to so many baseball is belied a little bit by his body size, because he's in great shape, but he's a 6'4" second baseman. You would think, probably a little more difficult for him to get to certain baseballs. That's not the case at all.
It's not, but it was really telling what those guys had to say. I want the ball hit to DJ. That's all you need to know, folks. If you're sitting at home and a guy that needs to win a Gold Glove, DJ LeMahieu, when his teammates say, hit the ball to him because I know it's an out.
He's had an extraordinary season, a Gold Glove season at second base. Well, a guy who's played Gold Glove defense when given the opportunity in the outfield is Brandon Barnes. Mark will discuss his exploits last night when we return.
season as the Rockies and Padres getting ready to wrap up this season series here on a Wednesday night. Well, we go from the defense last night in the infield to the defense last night in the outfield. It was the bottom of the 8th inning. Rene Rivera leading off for San Diego. He hits this one, and Brandon Barnes takes it back with that unbelievable catch in left field. The fans told him that Rivera was going to hit a home run. Well, guess what? He went and told the fans he was going to rob a home run, and he did. You saw Adam Ottavino, the pitcher, tip his cap. I always wonder what the pitcher is thinking in this situation.
Came out of my hand really bad, and I knew it was a horrible pitch. And then he hit it really good, so I was watching his reaction to see if he knew it was a home run or not. And then he was running, so I guess he wasn't sure. So then I turned around and I saw Barnesy come flying out of nowhere and catch it. And I was just relieved, really. But, I mean, I was still thinking about how bad of a pitch I just threw, so I wasn't that happy. But at the same time, I mean, obviously he bailed me out really good, so it was cool.
What do you do when you're on the hill and you're like, oh?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a moment. Well, it's his moment. You know, he made the great play, so keep the attention on him. I gave him a little hat tip and try to pitch better to the next batter.
It's always a strange thing when the pitcher sees that ball because it takes off. And as he said, he was watching Rivera, and Rivera was running hard, so he thought he got it, but maybe not totally. And then he saw Barnes make the catch. But I'm always interested in what the pitcher is thinking on a play like that. When we come back, the Rockies and the Padres ready to wrap up this season series. First pitch coming your way next on Root Sports. It's the finale against the Friars, and it is next from Petco Park.
Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Anova Cancer Care, taking a novel approach to cancer care. Learn more about prostate cancer treatment at AnovaCC.com. And by Southwest Airlines, without a heart, it's just a machine. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead things off tonight for the Rockies. Charlie, with 4 games to go, batting .286 on the season, an all-star campaign for the product of Georgia Tech. Here's the Southwest batting order, and it'll be Rafael Ynoa, who hit leadoff last night. He'll bat in that 2 spot. Then Morneau leading the league at .319. Cuddy's behind him, Dickerson, Rosario, Rutledge, LeMahieu, and Johan Flande. This season, DJ hitting .400 against San Diego pitching. And on the hill, making just his 2nd start of the year, a guy who's fully recovered from Tommy John surgery, who the Rockies faced a few days back, Joe Wheeland. And Joe's first pitch at 92 for a strike at the belt.
That was a game back at Colorado where he only lasted 2 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 earned runs in that start.
That's off the plate, 1-1. More numbers on Wheeland. Brought to you by Inova Cancer Care, non-surgical treatment of prostate cancer. Visit InovaCC.com.
Well, he was shut down way back in 2012 in May. Ended up having Tommy John surgery on July of that year. So it's been a long, hard process for Joe Wheeland to come back. Came over from the Texas Rangers organization in the trade for Mike Adams.
Well, very similar to the guy we saw last night. Robbie Erlin was part of that trade. So back-to-back starts by two guys who began their careers in the Ranger organization. Here's the 1-2. And that is Luke foul. It's fastball, curveball changeup with Wheeland as opposed to fastball slider.
Right, because it takes the stress on the elbow with that slider. I think he probably got away from that. But here that curveball plays because of the humidity and this ballpark that he can throw it, and it's over the top curveball. Let's see it right here.
And that ball is hit maybe over the top of the wall. How about that? Take that curveball and hit it in the seats. What a start. Charlie Blackmon with his 19th home run of the year, and the Rockies take a 1-0 lead.
And that is the 8th career home run allowed by Joe Wheeland in 33 2/3 innings.
Well, he's a fly ball pitcher, and that's okay in this park. It didn't work well at Petco, but it's not worked well, or at Coors Field, I should say. It didn't work well. It didn't work so well here at Petco.
Oh, and Charlie just roped this one. I mean, he knew it just watching the right fielder, Ryan Valeriano, just go back and stop, and all he can do is watch it. Charlie trotting around. And for Charlie, he's just one home run away from joining that 2020 club.
That's right, and I think he has a decent chance. He needs 2 more bases to be a 30 stolen base guy. Rafael Ynoa at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Raffy. Fewest home runs in baseball by ballpark: San Francisco, San Diego, then Kansas City.
Boy, did he stay behind that baseball. Didn't let the hips slide out towards the pitcher at all.
Inside, 2-1 on Ynoa. Three and 1 on Raffy. Blackmon did lean on that one. Guys were remarking, taking BP an hour earlier tonight, the ball was flying better. Marine layer hasn't settled in yet. And Wheeland, after giving up the home run, then walks Ynoa. And in this ballpark, if a guy is struggling, you have to take advantage because runs are so difficult to come by here. Adam Moore, the catcher, out visiting with Wheeland.
Well, let's go back and flash back to the first start for Joe Wheeland in a year and a half back at Coors Field. Well, it wasn't pretty then, and it hasn't been a pretty start for him tonight. And for Charlie, that was the 5th leadoff home run of the season.
And here's your batting leader right now in the National League, Justin Morneau. Swung on a missed at 93.
We do know right now that Josh Harrison's 0 for 3. But the guy that's making a little noise is the same guy on the team, McCutchen. He's up to 315.
Well, he's helped carry them. The Pirates have been just outstanding stretch run. Congratulations to Clint Hurdle in Pittsburgh. They're going to the postseason back-to-back years. You know, that franchise goes back to the 1880s, right, with the Alleghenies. It's just the 4th time they've gone to the postseason in back-to-back years.
With that long history, that's impressive what he's been able to do there.
2 balls and a strike on Morneau. You start looking at that MVP race. We'll break it down more over the weekend with the awards, who we think will win what in each league. But McCutchen, the reigning MVP, is coming up pretty strong, isn't he?
25 home runs now.
That's a strike. Whelan's actually throwing harder now than he did a couple of years ago. Last year, he averaged, or excuse me, 2 years ago, prior to Tommy John, he averaged about 89 and change on his fastball. And a small sample size, couple out of relief, and that one start that Jeff was telling you about against the Rockies, he's been about 91.5. And there he touches 94.
Before you think, oh well, send my kid out for Tommy John surgery, don't even go there. Don't even think about it. He's stronger because he's rehabbed and all the muscles around his shoulder and elbow are stronger. Better mechanics. I hate when I hear that from people saying, "Oh, I want my kid to have it."
Runner going, and it is poked to second, out at second, and out at first. Double play. So they get Noah. Jerko flipped it to Amarista, and that's the way to do things, even if you don't, Jeff, get that lead runner, go through the machinations of it, because you're going to be able to get the runner at first.
Well, and with somebody like Justin, not the fastest guy, so it makes it an easy read for Jerko, because everything is in front of him. You know where the runner is. You just flip it, shortstop, you catch it and get out of the way, and know you still have time to make the transfer.
It's one of those times where, as a runner, you can't be thinking breaking up two. You have to be thinking get to the bag. I can beat the toss. Ball and a strike on Kadire. Michael's hitting 8 of his last 9 to the tune of a .389 batting average, including 3 home runs. He has 10 ribbies during the 9 games. 6 doubles. This is too short. Amarista on the move. And the Rockies are done. But in the first, Charlie Blackmon got a curveball, and he stroked it out to deep right. 1-0 Rockies. '19th home run has given the Rockies a 1-0 lead. Johan Flande is on the mound for the Rockies tonight. It'll be his final start of 2014. Yangervis Solarte at 269 will lead things off for Bud Black's team. Here's the rest of his lineup, presented by Southwest Airlines. Cameron Maven, Jed Jerko, Yasmani Grandal will bat cleanup. Tommy Medica, Reimer Liriano. Adam Ward doing the catching. Alexi Amarista is playing shortstop, and Joe Whelan will bat 9th. Some more numbers on the left-hander, Johan Flande, brought to you by Inova Cancer Care, non-surgical treatment of prostate cancer. Visit InovaCC.com.
Well, Johan's just looking to get that first major league victory. He's pitched well enough the last 2 or 3 times out, especially on the road with a .208 batting average against a .286 ERA. But for Johan, he just wants to see that number 1 by the W column. It's the bottom line.
And so would Walt. He'd love to see him get one. As you said, he deserves to have a couple of victories. He's pitched well enough in a number of games. He's pitched in San Diego before, back on August 12th. This ball's lined to left center field. It's really well hit. And it's going to take a hop and piss off the wall. Solarte with a leadoff double.
He didn't wait around. Did Solarte. That was a belt-high fastball. For right-hander, for Solarte hitting right-handed at 352. Puts it into the left center field gap for his 5th double.
So Cameron Maybin will come up. Rockies trying to do something to the Padres that has not happened at all in the second half. We've talked about how good they've been in the second half. 23-8 over their last 31 home games. Best home record in baseball, in fact, in the second half of the season. They've not lost a home series since the All-Star break. They've played 9 of them, 8-0-1. So if the Rockies were to win tonight, Bud Black's team would finish the second half with 1 series loss. This is their final home game as well, in that they'll go up to San Francisco and finish the season playing 4 against the Giants.
And they'll fly out after the game tonight. Well, if their Giants are finishing up their series in L.A.
It's done. Dodgers have Clayton Kershaw on the mound.
Well, yeah, of course. And who's going for the Giants again?
Tim Hudson.
Hudson, that's right. Yeah, it's done.
1-1 on Maybin. On the inside corner for a strike from Flande. 1-2. Home plate umpire Jordan Baker tonight. Jerry Meals at first. Bob Davidson is at second. Trip Gibson is at third.
Keep trying to go inside so he can't hit the ball to the right side. This is where after throwing 2 or 3 in, you can go with the changeup. Get the hitter to reach.
Slowly hit it, and Flande makes a good play. No advancement by Solarte.
Surprised he
I was going to say, put yourself on second base. Isn't that automatic? Once you see a squib out in front of the plate.
Out in front of the plate.
Very conservative. Yeah, very conservative base running by Solarte. Wow. Time for our Excel Energy look at the defense for the Rockies. Corey Dickerson, Charlie Blackmon, and Michael Kadire in the outfield. The Noah getting everyday duty with Arenado out at third base. Rutledge, LeMahieu, Mornell, Boline doing the catching again. 1 out. Jed Jerko at the plate. He's hit over 300 against the Rockies this year. Sinker's low, ball 1. That is just a bad read.
Well, especially where that ball was. Because the pitcher coming off the mound is not going to think, well, I'm going to throw it to third.
He's just getting it out.
Yeah. In any event, Colorado will take it. Flande saying thank you.
Jerko a year ago hit 249, but what earned him a nice fat contract was that he had 23 home runs, drove in 63 on a club star for offensive production. Josh Burns, who was the GM at the time, pulled the trigger on that deal.
It seemed a little early to give him that kind of contract.
It was a preemptive strike. And, you know, maybe it turns out. Obviously, this year has been disappointing. He's hit 210 with 10 home runs and 51 RBIs, so not nearly the production. And even though 249 is not going to threaten for a batting title, 210 is not an average that is going to keep you in a lineup unless you hit a lot of home runs. 2-2. I mean, Dave Kingman would look down his nose at a 210 average back in the day. Of course, Jerko, with the 23 home runs, led all second basemen in the National League in that department. 2-2. And this is punched to first. Good lead by Morneau. Get your head around if you're Flande. You almost forgot.
Yeah, but then Justin, after he flipped to him, he told him to pay attention to the runner on third base. He was pointing to him. Now watch just after the play is over where Justin is pointing to third. Okay, got it. Now immediately, don't fall asleep.
You do that in PFPs all spring. Tag the bag, wheel around.
Just for that.
Exactly. But based on what Solarte did on the previous play, I don't think he's going to be ultra aggressive.
No.
2 outs. Yasmani Grandal has faced Flande twice, and he's got hits against him both times. Good pitch. One 0 Colorado on the Blackmon home run. Give him another one. 0-2. You know what? Because he doesn't think you'll do it. Go out there again.
Go right back out there.
Thinking right along the lines I was.
Yes.
Throw the heater right back out there. Maybe another ball off the plate. That's what they did. Tweet your questions for Toyota Talk using the hashtag Toyota Talk. And we'll get to a handful of them during the 5th inning. Padres getting on a plane after the ball game, as Jeff was chatting about, going to San Francisco. The Rockies will get on buses and go up the road to Los Angeles. And the Rockies always do that when they play back-to-back LA and San Diego, which is not always the case. They'll bus up and.
I was talking to some Padre people today. They do the same thing. Smart.
Well, less time consuming. Flande was halfway to the dugout. I mean, he was 4 steps off the mound.
You have to be careful with that and showing up the umpire. You might have thought it was a strike, but you
put his head.
Yeah, that'll get you in trouble.
Yeah.
That hit him.
Fortunately, it hit him. And the reason I say that would have been a wild pitch. It would have tied up the game. Tommy Medica with runners at first and third.
Overamped the slider on the left foot of Grandal.
Tommy 7 for his last 63. Did have a hit last night. All of that since he was hit in the head with a pitch. Strike one. Rockies will have a couple interesting series out here next year. They'll play the Angels and the Dodgers back-to-back, so basically they'll spend a week in the LA area. Now you'll change hotels because Anaheim's very far, especially in traffic, from Dodger Stadium. But the Rockies later on in the season play back-to-back series against the Giants and the A's, and they will not change hotels. They'll stay in San Francisco and go across the Bay Bridge to the Oakland Coliseum or whatever they're calling it these days.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that because Mike Fox, our producer, and I were sitting down in the dugout today. Nolan was out there, Renato, and he was mentioning that. He says, man, I can't wait next year with the schedule the way it is. Because we get to play the Angels for a couple games in L.A. and they get that. And then he said, when we go up to Oakland and San Francisco, we'll just stay at the hotel for 6 days.
Right.
So he had already looked at next year's schedule, kind of mapping out and plotting. So it's funny that you mentioned that because we were talking about that today, about an hour ago.
Well, he and Brandon Barnes, all the guys from OC, from Orange County, they're fired up that the Rockies will be there. This ball line to deep left, and it is gone. Under the Western Metal Supply Company, a 3-run home run from Tommy Medica. Flande was walking off the mound a couple of minutes ago. Has now given up a 3-run home run in the first.
Seems like he might have lost his focus or his composure after walking off the mound, because think about this. He hits the next batter, hits that batter, and then leaves one inside to Medica. You see the left foot of Medica where it went up onto his heel. That helps you spin out of that swing just a little bit more when you're trying to hit that cut fastball.
Reimer Liriano. I don't remember Flande giving up anything in a first inning this year.
No. He's backed off and gone to consecutive changeups.
Tommy Medica, who's been struggling mightily. It's a 3-run home run, former Santa Clara star. 1-2 on Liriano, the right fielder for Bud Black. Another changeup, and that's in the dirt. 2-2. It's the most I've seen him labor in an initial frame. He usually talks so much about it. He quickly gets you to the 5th inning, and it's that 3rd time through or so where maybe he runs into some difficulty. But tonight it's come in the 1st inning. Double. He hit Grandal, and then the 3-run home run. He gets the strikeout here of Liriano. Damage done. 3-1 San Diego as we go to the 2nd. The score across the Coronado Bridge, Petco Park. Tommy Medica with a 3-run home run Johan Flande. Here's the Excel Energy defensive alignment for the Padres. Medica, Maven, Liriano in the outfield. Solarte, Amarista, Jerko, Grandal in the infield. 3 straight starts at first base for Yasmani. The only change in their lineup is Rene Rivera not doing the catching tonight. It's Adam Moore. Corey Dickerson's going to lead off against Joe Wheeland, who all of a sudden has a 2-run advantage. Tell you how unusual that was. We were looking at each other going, man, Flande doesn't give up runs in the first inning. He'd given up 1 run this year in the first inning. The league was hitting 114 against Johan in the first inning.
You can see by the shake of the head that he's a little perplexed. It doesn't happen that way when I step out onto the hill.
Dickerson takes a strike. Corey's 1 for 4 in San Diego on this particular trip. Won a National League Player of the Week award earlier this year, and he just broke his bat.
Is he just going to stand at home plate? Oh, okay.
Bat boy.
I thought maybe he'd walk at least 3 or 4 strides over to towards the bat boy.
Who wants tacos? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special at Moss at Taco Bell. And Dickerson is gone.
Don't even need to throw. You're wondering why. You saw Jordan Baker jump out there, kind of wave his arms. It was because after the swing, he hit the catcher and kind of interfered with him. So that's why he was saying there's already interference, no need to make the throw.
Willeen Rosario with 1 out. Padres are tough whenever they get any kind of runs at home. They're 37-7 at home this year when they score 3 or more. Rockies scored 3 last night. That was a winning number, 3-2 on the Stubbs 8th inning opposite field home run. Yeah, Willeen tried to stop his swing, could not. So it's 2 strikes. Hitting .475 in September. Carl Crawford, who we'll see over the weekend at .414. A couple of Giants, 3 Giants in fact on that list. Joe Wheeland reaches back and strikes out Rosario. 2 in a row for Wheeland, who in high school was the Nevada High School Player of the Year. And here's what's interesting about him now pitching in San Diego. He signed with the late Tony Gwynn in San Diego State and then was drafted high enough and offered enough money that he decided to go the professional route. Had he not, he would have played right here in San Diego.
He was drafted in the 4th round in 2008. So 4th round high school kid, you know, he got some money and also put in there with the college scholarship, add all that together. That's the way those contracts are a lot of times arranged. Say, well, what would be the cost of going to college? We'll add that on to your signing bonus.
Yeah. Some interesting splits, Huey, for Josh Rutledge. This is month by month. In April, Rutledge hit .318. May, he hit .091.
Ooh.
June, he hit .321. July, he hit .315. August, he had .159, and he's hitting .333 in September. And get down. Oh, diving catch made out there by Liriano to rob Rutledge of a hit. So 4 of the 6 months he's hit above .300. 2 of them he's hit below .160. 3-1 Padres. Diego, Charlie Blackmon getting redirected as to how he'll play defensively with Adam Moore at the plate. Home run by Blackmon leading off the ball game, supplied the Rockies with an early run. Then a Tommy Medica 3-run home run in the bottom of the first against Flande. We'll see how he responds here in the second. He has strike one on the catcher Moore. Veteran backup guy we've seen in spring training with Seattle.
Yeah, and he's getting his first start tonight because he had caught Wheeling down in the minor leagues. So want him to feel comfortable out there. Playing every day until the season goes till Sunday, they needed to give Rivera a night off.
On the ground, foul. 0-2. This is Moore's first big league start since June 1st of last year when he was with the Royals. And he has only 19 starts since 2010 when he got in 60 ball games with the Mariners. Safelite Auto Glass, folks, to go see if you have windshield damage. 303-287-5000, or go see them online at safelite.com to make an appointment. 80 degrees tonight when we threw first pitch. Well, we didn't throw it. I mean,
no.
It was actually thrown by Wheelan.
But we were here.
We were here to see it. Warmer now than it was on either of the first two visits to San Diego. Good pitch. Went underneath the hands with a changeup. Second strikeout for Flande. One gone. Amarista will come up, and we'll visit with Mark Stout way out there in deep right center field.
This is where I can see Charlie Blackmon. Drew, you mentioned that he provided the offense tonight. I wanted to ask him about the defense of Brandon Barnes and that catch in left field from last night, and what was so special about it.
It's one thing to be there at the wall waiting for the ball to come down, and that's not what he was doing. He was running. He was having to get back and jump, not knowing where the ball was, not knowing where the wall was, catch the ball, hit the wall, fall down, not drop the ball.
And the situation at hand.
And it pretty much saved the game for us. It was a great catch. I had a great time.
So there's Charlie Blackmon's take on that Brandon Barnes catch, which was unbelievable last night at left field. Charlie's made his own catches in center field and all around the outfield, so I figured I'd ask him, guys.
It was an amazing catch. Charlie had a great view of it, Mark. You're right. And we all were talking, right back at Flande. He gloves it. He's going to get the out at first. So Amarista got, we were all talking to Barnes today, congratulating him. Then I'm asking him about the catches. And I asked him, I said, which was the more difficult catch? And he said, actually, the ball earlier in the ball game.
Well, because of the way the line drive reacts and how you have to leap and time at the same time. Off the bat of Tommy Medica. I mean, everything has to come together there. Just from a technical standpoint. It was fun in the dugout today. I mean, just listening to all the guys still talk about that play to Brandon. I mean, we mentioned a great catch last night. You could tell it was still fresh in his mind because that big smile of his would come out.
1-1, and that's top foul. But you know what? Neither one of those were his best catch of the year. This was his best catch of the year. This is in the ninth inning of a blowout. The Rockies were winning, and he laid out, went like Superman. And then add that to what he did last night, that leaping catch, go over the wall, save the ball game. Yeah, he was Superman last night. Wheeland is gone. 2 strikeouts in a 1-2-3 second inning for Johan Flande. We'll go to the third. Padres 3 and the Rockies 1. like the A's will be in, the Royals will be in, the Angels obviously. The Orioles have already clinched the division, and the Tigers. And you know who the National League teams are as well, with Pittsburgh and San Francisco. San Francisco, their magic number to go to the postseason is 1. That's off the plate, and it's 2-0 on DJ LeMahieu here in the 3rd inning.
The magic number for the Dodgers to clinch the division is 1. They win tonight, it's over. They've clinched it. Giants win. There's still a glimmer of hope.
Two balls and a strike. LeMahieu, a .352 career hitter against San Diego pitching. And DJ lines at the center, but it's right at Cameron Maben. Bring up Johan Flande. Tweet us your Rockies fan photos. Only a few days left in the season. Use the hashtag #COFanPhoto. It's brought to you by AT&T. Guys in the dugout get a kick out of Flande's swings and his running style. What was remarking about that earlier. Barnes, Kadire, Dickerson.
But he does run hard, though. I mean, it might be a little unorthodox. The swing might be. But he's not going to just go up there and just take. He'll get his swings in. And then if he hits it on the ground, he's going to leg it out. He'll run as hard as he can down the line.
Like well, that swing. That was a little different.
That was a little different. Don't see too many of those curveballs. You really don't want to laugh, but you can't suppress it. Just because of how awkward it looked.
That was not pretty. Rutledge is still chuckling. Johan's got to defend himself. There's
well, I saw the curveball start up here. I was trying to get my bat right. No, just the mistake he made was not hitting the fastball.
Hey, listen, he's Ted Williams compared to. Remember when Young Kim was a Rocky?
Oh my! I just remember that swing he had where he literally jumped and turned
180.
Yeah, 180 in the box.
You know what? Do we have that in the truck anywhere? That was classic. Young Kim swung.
Both feet
batted
came
from the
off
right
the ground.
side. Both feet came off the ground, and when he finished, he was now facing the dugout. And I don't mean partially. I mean it was a perfect 180.
He would have got a nice score in the Olympics. Probably got a 9.95.
Oh, he stuck the landing. 1-2. Foul. BK in his career, 13 for 123. That was with the Rockies, a 106 average. Well, you know what, BK?
13?
BK, that's 13 more hits than I got. So
13 hits. Every day you can go to Baseball Reference and
I'm in there.
It's there.
Yep. Chuck Nasty had a home run in the first. Rafael Inoa behind him walked. Since then, 7 straight retired by Joe Whelan. Blackman with 5 leadoff home runs this year. Jeff told you that. Carlos Gomez has 5. And Brett Gardner has 5 as well.
Did you throw him the curveball what he hit out last time?
He did. And he struck him out with it. 4 strikeouts tonight in 3 innings for Joe Whelan. 3-1 San Diego, middle of 3. The 3rd inning. Let's check our farmland. What's cooking down on the farm? Farmland, passion for pork since 1959. Well, we focus on Trevor Story. As the first pitch of the inning is a strike on Solarte. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a couple notes there. That pitch just missed to Solarte. 1 ball, 1 strike. All right, Trevor Story, Rockies supplemental first-round pick in 2011, 263 between Modesto and Tulsa this year, and he continues to show pop. He'll be in the Arizona Fall League.
Well, the good thing with that is he's going to have Kevin Riggs there to work with him with his hitting for another 4-6 weeks or so, where every day they can get to that cage and continue to refine the mechanics and everything. You know, they go in with the swing. So I think that's so important for these young kids, just to make sure that you have it down when you go into the off season. So when you're practicing in January before you come to spring training, it's already ingrained in there.
You never know for sure until guys do it up here. Like Nolan Arenado has done it up here. Corey Dickerson has done it up here. But it looks like the Rockies have hit on 2 high picks who are high school position players. That's fouled off. In Trevor Story, who was a Texas high school selection, and a kid out of this area, just north of here in Orange County, Ryan McMahon.
Yes. I mean, McMahon with the home runs, over 100 RBIs for Asheville.
This ball lined to center field. Blackman is there. Solarte is retired, and that'll bring up Maben.
Well, fans, there's still time. You can follow every Rockies game through season's ends with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone or tablet. Get replay, reviews, score stats, audio, and more. Download at bat on the App Store or visit Rockies.com/mobile today.
Just below the knees on Cameron Maben. He had a little squibber out in front of the plate that was grabbed by Flande in the first. Where's that? Maben even thought it was a strike. 2-0. It's close. Both pitches were close. Maben was part of the '05 draft class. High school kid out of North Carolina. Twice he was the Gatorade Player of the Year in high school in North Carolina. That was the draft where Justin Upton went 1. He's turned out pretty well. Alex Gordon has turned out well. He was out of Nebraska. It took him a while. Converted to the outfield from third base. Jeff Clement for Seattle, it didn't work out. Ryan Zimmerman with Washington. Good pick. Ryan Braun's been an MVP. I know, a controversial one now, but he's been an MVP.
Don't say that to Matt Kemp.
No. Ricky Romero, still in the big leagues. Troy Tulowitzki, 7th. This ball on the ground to Rutledge. Boy, that was bang, bang. Maben gets up the line. 2 outs. Wade Townsend went to Tampa Bay, never got past to Double-A. Mike Pelfrey went 9. Cameron Maben went 10. And 11 was Andrew McCutcheon. He turned out all right. There's another MVP. And Jay Bruce, who's had a terrific career, went 12. Those are your first 12 picks. Let me think. You got 2 MVPs. Tulo's been in the conversation a few times.
Multiple All-Star appearances.
Upton had that year in Arizona. I forget where he finished in the MVP voting, but probably pretty high. Gordon's been an All-Star. Ryan Zimmerman's an All-Star. Pelfrey's been solid.
I want to remember Cameron Maben was traded for Cabrera down to Miami, from Detroit down to Miami. Miguel.
Miami's still ticked off about that.
Yeah, they're still not happy.
As great as Miguel is, he's not been the best hitter on the Tigers this year. It's been Victor Martinez.
Well, I remember when we were in there in Detroit watching Victor. That's a pretty good lineup. And you throw Ian Kennedy out there, Ian Kinsler, excuse me.
Padres would be mad if you threw Ian Kennedy.
They wouldn't like that. Ian Kinsler.
Yeah. Jerko takes that pitch in the dirt. 2-2. Subaru brings you the manager's challenge. If there's a questionable call, instant replay will be used to determine the outcome. Brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Remember way back, instant replay. Get to see it again in slow motion. Upton was 4th in the MVP voting, according to Doug, in 2011. That's when Braun won it in a close vote over Matt Kemp. And Prince Fielder was 3rd. Change up, the call from Rosario. It was well executed. Got it down. (3-1) Padres, bottom of 3. Flande's given up that 3-run home run to Tommy Medica, has retired 6 in a row. On the ground to 3rd. Inoue gathers himself, and there's that strong arm that's impressed Walt Weiss. Really stayed behind it and threw it. 3-1 Padres. Looked like a young Jeff Houston. Rockies as we go to the top of the fourth. Noah, Morneau, and Kadire. Here's our Hyundai League leaders, brought to you by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Morneau's now got a 4-point lead on Josh Harrison, who's 0 for 4 this evening. And again, Morneau will follow Noah. He bounced into a 4-6-3 double play in his first at bat. Harrison tied with McCutchen now. His teammate Andrew McCutchen went 2 for 4. Actually, McCutchen's at 314.
Harrison went 0 for 4.
Last night, the Rockies celebrated with a 3-2 victory. It was just their 5th road win in the second half. Way inside on Noah. 1-2.
Jackknife. Feet are going back, hands going forward.
Noah gets even at 2-2. Rafi with a 6-game hitting streak going. Well, you know, what's that?
He knows that he's going to have his name in the lineup every night.
Pretty nice,
yeah. It is.
Nolan feeling a lot better. Chatted with him at the clubhouse earlier, but he's not going to play the rest of the way. You know, we got to say goodbye to tonight. A member of our families. He's going back home for baby duty. There he is. Dougie, you're on camera. Smile. Did you put makeup on tonight? Yeah. We've known Dougie.
He's going home to join his family.
That's right. Dougie, who does a fabulous job for us. Research, statistics, stories. He lets us carry on late at night, and he laughs at our jokes. Mine especially. Dougie will miss you in Los Angeles. So here's Justin Morneau with 1 out. It's time for our Steel Tea Heating and Air Cool Stat. Never a trip charge for repair. A $69 value. Steel Tea, the T stands for trust. Go to steeltea.com. Well, if you took it by 150 plus at bats, this is an easy play for the second baseman, Jerko. The Rockies would have 4 of the top 6 hitters in the league. Creative license here, folks. Indulge us for a moment. Tulowitzki, who was having just a fabulous year when he went down, 340 average. And then Kadire third, Morneau next, Harrison, Michael McHenry. And the 317, the reason you saw Harrison at 315, we built this graphic earlier, and Harrison at the start of the day was hitting 317.
Justin Turner, big home run for the Dodgers last night.
That's a base hit. He had 2 of them.
Yeah. Let's just think about the one late.
That was large. Bumgarner denied his 19th victory. So with 2 outs, Cuddy's at first for Dickerson. Actually, truth be told, we had nothing to do with that graphic. That was all Susan Strand. So I wasn't throwing Susan under the bus. I was saying we didn't build the graphics.
No, they get here much earlier than.
Right, the truck was saying.
Yeah.
No, it had nothing to do with the 317.
The 317 average?
Susan built that at like 10 this morning. While we're yodeling around town, they're actually working.
They're working.
Yeah.
Putting this stuff together. All the graphics.
That ball's well hit by Dickerson for a single. 2 on. And 2 outs. And Rosario will take his turn. Yeah, we score all year. I was just thinking about this, and you and I both use different colored pens. Do you practice in the winter? You ever pick up the big book in December, throw on a ball game?
Practice? No, I don't. No, not.
I never asked you that. I was just checking.
I don't use as many different colors as you do. I use 2 colors, black and red.
I have black, and red, and blue, and light blue, and fuchsia, and green. Pink, and green.
You just score in the off season?
Oh yeah, you got to practice. Beneath the knees, 1 ball, 1 strike. And I use my Pilot pens here. You like these, don't you?
No.
Afraid they'll blow up in your
Yes.
hands? Never. Too well made. Wayne struck out swinging his first time, hitting just under 500 in September. Like Moore was doing bear crawls getting to that baseball.
That's what catchers are taught to do.
Speaking of catchers, all they go through, Jackson Williams had a little knee procedure today.
Yep. A little repair of the meniscus.
Jackson got a little time with the Rockies in September. 2-1. 3-1.
Now you get the luxury of just looking for a fastball. Sit on that heater.
And it's on the ground. The third, and Solarte races Kadire to the bag, and he wins that race. So the Rockies had 2 hits, nothing else across in the 4th inning. Middle of 4th, 3-1 Padres. Stick. Here's tonight's Coors Timeless Moment. September 24th, 2006, the Padres beat the Pirates 2-1, what made it memorable and timeless. Trevor Hoffman gets the save for the Padres, and he becomes baseball's career saves leader, number 51, with his 43rd save of the year. 479th of his career to break Lee Smith's record. Of course, that has since been broken by the recently retired Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera ended up with 652 saves. Trevor Hoffman, 601.
Lee Smith ought to be in the Hall of Fame, too. Lee's working in. Is he working in the Padre organization? He's working in somebody's organization as a roving pitching
player development
coordinator. Yeah, he's in player development. Yasmani Grandal will lead things off here in the 4th inning. He's batting cleanup tonight. He takes strike 1. He was hit by a pitch in the foot his first time up. Is it going to stay up? Nope. Base hit for Grandal, leading things off. He's now 3 for 3. And that hit by pitch against Flande. Tommy Medico hit the 3-run home run will come up. Word out of Arizona, they're going to make this official tomorrow, is that Dave Stewart, multiple 20-game winner for the Oakland A's, will be named the new general manager under Tony La Russa in Arizona for the Diamondbacks.
Well, he's been an assistant GM before. He's been in player development. He's been an agent.
He's been an agent. He's done a lot of things. And Walt Weiss, close with Dave Stewart, played with him for a number of years in Oakland, had this to say about that possibility.
He's been involved in a variety of ways in the game. I think that's going to serve him well as a general manager. I think Tony's starting to put his fingerprint on that thing over there, and it's going to make my job tougher over here.
Of course, Walt very close with Tony La Russa. The reference to Tony as the president of baseball operations. And Dave Stewart, Walt went on to tell us that, because people forget, so Dave Stewart won 20 games 4 years in a row.
He was no fun to face, I know that.
Yeah, you faced him. Said he was a tremendous teammate. This is
go foul.
Going to go foul, fortunately. Noah gloves it there, and Medico will come back.
Well, and look for Terry Steinbach to maybe take over managing that team. He's a bench coach with the Twins, but he was his battery mate in Oakland.
A lot of people are speculating about that. It would make some sense, but of course we don't fire anybody before that happens. And
I'm just saying,
if Kirk Gibson were to be relieved of his duties,
just because of that
name
relationship.
Will come up. Yep. And then it goes back also to Tony La Russa. Tony was their manager. This is lined to right, and it is foul. Medica's running like it's fair.
Well, and immediately Jose Valentin, the first base coach, looked in the dugout to Bud Black. Said, come out and buy some time.
I don't think we're going to be able to tell by this. They're going to look at it. Let me see.
Ooh.
Maybe we can tell.
Yeah,
we don't want to look.
Don't want to, but did that land right on the line? Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, that's white flying out.
You can see some, even the paint. It's not chalk, it's paint.
This manager's challenge is brought to you by Subaru's EyeSight Driver Assist technology, a vigilant safety feature that gives peace of mind to every drive. You're probably at home wondering, okay, that looks like it was on the line. What happens to the runners? The runners, yeah, it's at the umpire's discretion where the umpires think the runners would have gotten to. I mean, in theory, you could say, yeah, that looks like a triple to me, and a run scores. I honestly believe they'll leave them where they're kind of standing right now at second and third.
I mean, that's the easiest thing to do because you can't assume that Medica would have reached third base for a triple.
Again, it's got to be conclusive.
Yes.
But the good news is you got a shot because it was called foul.
There's Michael. Well, we're going to get a call.
Yep, and he's putting him
second
and third. So it'll be a double for Medica. And Grandal will be at third base. Nobody out. Flande's in a pickle. The slumping Tommy Medica with a 3-run home run and now a double.
Two completely different swings for Medica. The first one was a home run where he pulled it because it was a cut fastball in. That one he punched to right. You have to play the infield, not all the way in, but you have to cut off this run.
Reimer Liriano at the plate. Nick Massett's up for the Rockies. This figures to be more of a bullpen day for both sides anyhow. Whelan's not really stretched out. It's just his second start of the year. They were hopeful to get 5 innings out of him. And Flande had been back in the bullpen, did make a start a few days ago, but it's not like he's ready to throw 100 pitches.
Well, you also have a day off tomorrow. So you have all those arms out there where if you need to go and have somebody come in just to finish an inning, give you a couple outs, there's enough other guys available to do that to get you to the 9th inning.
Two and one. Reimer Liriano is one of those guys that's been tagged with a 5-tool assessment. Not 5 tools, but the key is bringing them all on the same day. Young players struggle with that.
And not many guys get that assessment of 5 tools. So when you hear it, it really makes you pause and think, well, does he have it all? I mean, you know, Carlos Gonzalez, he's a 5-tool player.
And when he's right, they all show up on the same day. That's why when he's right, he's one of the best players in the game. And when I say when he's right, when he's healthy. Three and two on Liriano, hit his first career home run against the Rockies and traveled almost 430 feet. It's his only career home run. 3-2. Got him. It's a big strikeout for Flande. There's one out. Moore will come up, and he struck out Moore his first time. If you were to get Moore, you could pass on Amarista and go at the pitcher. So this is the key at bat here in the inning, and Moore knows it.
Well, they got Adam Moore last time up with just some soft junk where they're just throwing the changeup. Well, they're going to go ahead and put him on. They're going to play it so they can go the left on left matchup.
It's interesting, and you understand it from Walt's standpoint to go left on left. The other school of thought would be go after the guy who really hasn't been playing much in Adam Moore.
Well, and then the concern you have with Amarista is his speed, because he's a tough guy to double up.
Amarista hit the ball hard his first time up, a line shot right back at Flande that he knocked down and then recovered and threw him out. So Moore will be walked to load the bases. Flande will go at Amarista. Amarista drove in the tying run last night. Made it 2-2 before Stubbs' heroics in the 8th inning.
Amarista, he's grounded into 6 double plays and 403 at bats.
Just missed. Ball 1. Amarista has good numbers with the bases loaded.
And I'm looking out at the infielder. Justin at first, he's playing even with the bag. And Noah, depending on which way it takes him. But then up the middle, they've kind of had to shorten up. Because shorten up with the speed of Amarista, if it's not hit hard, they might come home just to make sure they get that lead runner.
No shortstop has driven in more runs in September, believe it or not, in baseball than Amarista. He has 14 ribbies. That's a strike, and it's 1-2. Alexi Amarista from Barcelona, Venezuela. Listed at 5'6", 152 pounds. To second, slowly hit. And that'll allow a run to score, 4-1. And that's the risk you take with Amarista because, again, that was not hit that hard. But even if you hit it hard, he gets up the line so well, a very difficult man to double.
And this was a ball that was in towards the hands, more like on the label. It actually had some English on it, so it was spinning. DJ went over, but had to reach back to his right because of the English on the baseball, kicked off the grass, and then he made sure he got the lead runner at second base. The English, you'd see where he didn't catch it very well. And when you do it and it hits off the bat like that, it almost catches the ball sideways, like a pool shot. And it hit and then go the opposite direction.
1-1 on Wheeland. He struck out his first time. Amarista's 15th RBI in September. 15 of his 40 RBIs in the final month of the season. Blonde and the Rockies down 4-1. Well, I need not tell you, 4 is a big number at Petco.
Because of the record with the Padres when they get 4 runs or more.
They're 51-1 this year, period, when they score 4 runs. 27-1 at home. They've lost 1 game this year when they've scored 4 runs or more at Petco Park. So the Rockies could make it 2. Wheeland on the ground to short. Rutledge. High throw. You got the tag on Wheeland. Well, Valentine is calling Bud Black out again. He doesn't think the tag was made.
Wheeland was shaking his head no. You got him on the back.
We'll have to see a different angle, see if he brushes the jersey. Let's see if...
Right there. That was with the backside of the glove, not out on the webbing.
Well, you can understand why Wheeland doesn't think he got tagged.
Well, when you're running, you don't feel it. I mean, unless it's a hard tag that's applied.
It's a possible call for a first base umpire.
It is.
He can't see.
Justin just showing the glove and the ball.
Just got to sell it. I don't know how you overturn that.
No, I don't think you can.
This manager's challenge is brought to you by Subaru's EyeSight Driver Assist technology, a vigilant safety feature that gives peace of mind to every drive. Bob Davidson, Jerry Meals waiting to hear from New York.
Right, look at the, right there.
Again, I think it's impossible to tell.
I don't think you
got to go with what was called.
Still waiting for the signal from New York.
Out. So the call stands. That gets the Rockies off the field. Padres get another run. As we go to the 5th inning, it's San Diego 4 and the Rockies 1. Rockies 1. Did you make it over to Coronado this week?
Not this trip.
You usually don't stay with the team. You usually get that big suite over at the Hotel del Coronado. Never once invited any of us.
No.
It's going to continue, isn't it?
That's right.
The day after every Rockies victory, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. 10% of net sales will be donated to Children's Hospital Colorado. Pitches high on Josh Rutledge. 7-8-9 for the Rockies against Joe Wheeland. Probably Joe's last inning.
Is it 61 pitches?
To short, Amarista.
Might see 75 pitches today out of Wheeland. Threw 66 in his first start.
LeMahieu lined to center field in the 3rd inning.
So last night we were talking about what the shirts off the backs for the Padres and how they did that. They ended up raising over $46,000 for local youth baseball programs.
That's terrific. Yeah, there were a lot of folks out on the field after the ball game for that. 2-0 on LeMahieu. We had a conversation with Walt yesterday, and he made an interesting point that he originally learned from Tony La Russa. We're talking about the postseason and what the Rockies have to do in future years to capture a division, have to dominate at home. be north of 50 and maybe even closer to 55 wins at home, given the challenges for this club on the road. Well, Flande's day is done. Kyle Parker's going to pinch hit for him. And he said, LaRusso always said to his team to relax him when they did get to the post. And he goes, you guys have done the more difficult task already. Winning a division, you have to have sustained excellence for 6 months. Now all you have to do is play well for a few weeks.
Right, and that's the hardest thing, because you're going to have peaks and valleys during the course of a season. You're going to have stretches where you play well, other times which you don't. But for 6 months, I think that's what makes the sport so unique, and how you have to play so well over an extended period of time.
I thought it was a really interesting point that we don't usually think about. Okay, they're division winners, and you want to win the division.
Yes,
it's the goal every year. But we've seen it in so many sports where, in football, in the NFL, the wild card team gets in, they get hot. The Ravens a couple years ago, nobody would have selected them as the best team entering the postseason 2 years ago. The Giants, on a couple of different occasions, were not the best team entering the playoffs, but they were the hot team. They played the best over a month period of time.
See it in hockey, the number 8 seed.
The Kings a few years ago, 2 years ago.
You can roll just getting into the playoffs in hockey, but then you get that hot goaltender, and he takes you to the cup.
Yeah, each of the last couple of years, right? 1-2 on Parker. I think the NBA has been a little bit different. It's been, Miami has been the team to beat, or San Antonio out of the West the last couple of years, and it's played true to form. And the slider gets Parker. He's gone. Wheelan. A 1-2-3 fifth inning as he races off. Tough night for Johan Flande. 4-1 San Diego. I said earlier, I don't know if you caught it, Flande's like Ted
How do you do that, though?
It was all, and they were all BK swings? Was there the disclaimer at the bottom of the screen, do not try this at home?
So it wasn't on the Tom Amansky video.
Actually, if you look very carefully at the old Tom Amansky hitting videos, you can see Spilly. He's kind of an extra in there. He's like 11 and hit the shot. All right, Spilly. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Thanks, man.
A 4-minute video. All right, guys, we got to get you loose. Guys seem a little tight. Put in the 4-minute BK video. Put in the offensive highlights for BK. LeMahieu makes the play on Solarte, 1 out. Cameron Maven coming up. Here's our Toyota Talk. First question of the night. Jeff, that would be you, Huey. What motivates a player other than the 4-minute BK video when they know they aren't making the playoffs?
Well, this is where a professional is. You have to motivate yourself, and it still comes down to the competition. You hear players talk about that even when they're retired, even to today. For me, that's the thing I miss the most, the competing, going out there. It doesn't matter what, where you are in the standings. I want to compete because I want to get a hit off you, or I want to make a play against you. It's just like playing in the backyard against your brother or your buddies. You're not doing it for the glory or anything. You're doing it because you want to win.
You still love to play.
Yes.
You're still getting an opportunity to put on a uniform. And yeah, it's frustrating, and yeah, it stinks because you want to be playing for something. And if you've ever had a taste of it, it's so special. I mean, even from a broadcaster standpoint, when the games are big in the month of September, there's a buzz every night.
There's nothing like it, but still, you're playing for the pride of yourself. You're wearing a major league uniform. You owe it to the organization. You owe it to the fans to still go out there. I mean, I think of Brandon Barnes last night. That play he made in the talking to the fans. He wasn't doing it because they're in the playoff race or they're not, whatever. He was doing it because this is what he loves to do.
Jed Jerko with a swing and a miss, 0-1. What team do you guys have winning the World Series? Very good question. I haven't thought about it. I've thought about it, but I haven't thought deeply about it. The Angels and Orioles are going to have the best records entering the playoffs. That's going to be a heck of a battle in the American League. I still think, because Ryu, the word out of Los Angeles, we'll learn more, folks, and pass it along over the weekend, but the word out of LA is Ryu's going to be okay. So now you're going to line up the best pitcher on the planet in Kershaw, a guy who's an ace on any other team in Greinke, and then Ryu with Kemp and Crawford, who've really come alive. Puig has extracted himself from that slump that he had for about a 6-week period of time. The Dodgers are a tough out in the National League.
Yeah, and I think it's going to come down to an all-California series because I think the Angels are going to come out of the American League.
They got some mojo, don't they?
They do, and they've got that bullpen too. Whatever issues they have, the bullpen is solid for them.
Tough lineup to pitch to. That Angel lineup.
Yes, it is. I think they only have they have to win 2 more games or something like that to have the home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs. The best record in the American League.
One, 2. Good pitch. Okay, I'll walk off. I don't even need to hear Jordan Baker bark.
Nope.
Great pitch by Nick Massett.
Just going to take my medicine and go back to the dugout.
We'll bring up Yasmani Grandal.
Strike. Okay.
news concerning Rockies. Walt Weiss was asked today. Thomas Harding filed this piece on MLB.com about the possibility of Rafael Betancourt returning next year. Rafael will be 40 in April. He wants to return. He was with the Rockies and pitched in the minor leagues the second half of the year, coming back from Tommy John surgery. And Walt said we'd be open to seeing if Rafi could get his way, make his way all the way back to the big leagues with his history.
He did all the steps down in the minor leagues. First, he decided to have the surgery because there were some people who say, well, why would you do it at your age? He kept himself in great shape. So then he goes out there and then step by step by step, it shows everybody that he's healthy and he's recovered.
If he's on the club next year at 40, he's not even the oldest guy.
No, Troy says, welcome, youngster.
Runner going, and the throw by Rosario is not going to get Maben.
Stolen base number 4 for Cameron. Just a good jump. He was a good 4 strides into that before the ball was delivered home. Taking a perfect throw on the bag to even have the possibility of throwing out Cameron.
Good curveball. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Grandal, the switch hitting catcher slash first baseman now. All he's played in this series is first.
That's only his 34th career game at first.
He doesn't look uncomfortable there.
No. 20 out of his last 26 starts have come at first base, so he's starting to play there more and more.
3-2. Padres up 4-1. Joe Whelan has worked 5 innings. He allowed 1 run, the home run by Blackman, leading off the ball game. Strike 3. That's a good curveball from Massett. So Maben stranded at second base. We're through 5 innings at Petco Park. Rockies have to crank up the offense. They're down by 3 runs. recap, put the 7th inning stretch to good use. Get First Bank's free checking at eatfirstbank.com. Well, the Rockies took a 1-0 lead on the home run by Charlie Blackmon, his 5th leadoff home run of the year, tied for the top mark in baseball as his 19th of the year. Tommy Medica, though, who's been in a bad slump, hit a 3-run home run in the bottom half of the inning against Johan Flande. And Joe Whelan, making his 2nd start since coming back from Tommy John surgery, is still out there. He's facing Blackmon here leading off in the 6th inning. And he gets a fly ball to Medica and left, 1 out. I mean, this has already exceeded the expectations of Bud Black. He had hoped to get 5 innings out of Whelan. Whelan in line for his first major league win.
Well, then after the first hit of the ball game, the home run from Charlie, I'm sure Bud was saying, oh, man, is he even going to even make it out of the first inning?
Yeah, because he walked Noah, who's up right now, right behind that home run. Bob Scahill in the Rockies pen, Frank Garces and P.J. Alvarez. A couple of real good arms in that Padre bullpen.
I saw R.J. last night.
I said P.J. R.J. Alvarez, forgive me. Yeah,
Frank 2 nights ago.
Yeah, and what we witnessed from R.J. Alvarez, the Rockies would probably not like to face him. What a great arm he has.
We're talking about the Angels. Came over from the Angels.
Part of the Houston Street deal. 2-0 on Noah, and that's line foul.
The Coors Field tours are available year-round, so call 303-ROCKIES for your chance to go behind the scenes. Group and individual tickets are available Monday through Saturday. Coors Field tours.
Called strike. 2-2.
Might have caught the top of the Ford strike zone, but Noah wasn't happy with it. Wanted the big curveball again.
He ID'd it quick, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Balance, kept the hands back.
Balance is key, and no matter what sport you're playing, you have to have good balance to make an athletic move.
And he earns his 2nd walk. Now, this young man's done nothing to hurt himself. When the Rockies brass gets together and starts determining who's going to spring training and who potentially could be a part of the mix in 2015. He's really done a nice job. The Ford Strike Zone's powered by Built Ford Tough trucks. Built better, built stronger, built Ford Tough. No wonder the Ford F-Series are the best-selling trucks 37 years running. So Morneau's 0 for 2 tonight. Yeah, that pitch is away, ball 1. 4-6-3 double play and a ground ball to second as well to Jerko. Changeup. 1-1. Justin Morneau, 4 hits shy of 1,500 in his career.
This is being productive and steady.
Got a balk?
Yeah, they called the balk. Jordan Baker called that right out of the gate. You could hear his voice. Oh, that's where you try. That's as easy as he gets.
Oopsie.
I didn't mean to drop the baseball.
2 guys finished with 1,500 hits in their career exactly. Mike Bordick and Manny Sanguine.
Mike Bordick had 1,500.
Played a long time. 2-1. Morneau, a career .429 hitter, 18 for 42 at Petco Park. Everybody says this is a pitcher's park. I don't get it.
for Justin.
He's hit the first half, he's hit the second half. He's hit at home, he's hit on the road. He's hit with runners in scoring position. It's just been a really, really consistent year.
And if you're wondering about Josh Harrison, he went 1 for 5 tonight, so he's still at 316. Andrew McCutchen 2 for 5, dropped to 313.
Fastball count, and the fastball called strike. Morneau's taking his gear off.
Well, you can see, I mean, when it's that far off the 4 strike zone, that's a good 5 inches.
This happened the other night. There was a pitch that was well off the plate called a strike, and then Morneau lined the double over left fielder's head. And we were talking about it. He said, I was so mad. Well, he took it out on the next delivery. See if he does the same here. Curveball. And Justin didn't say anything. You know he wanted to, and he goes down to first. So now 2 on. Let's see if Whelan's run out of gas. Here comes Bud. Back-to-back walks with Kadire coming up. You got to figure he's going to go to the bullpen.
And 84 pitches for Whelan. They were just hoping to get him through 5. It's 5 in the 3rd. The right-hander R.J. Alvarez.
So Whelan off, and the hard-throwing R.J. Alvarez through that door when we come back. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Super Duty. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. By Southwest Airlines, without a heart, it's just a machine. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. In San Diego at Petco Park with Jeff Houston and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. The Rockies trail 4-1. They have 2 on, 1 out in the 6th inning. Michael Kadire coming up. And he's going to face young R.J. Alvarez.
The Rockies saw last night, came in 1 inning, had 3 strikeouts. For Alvarez, it's a slider that's lower 3/4, 84 to 86 miles an hour, and then he can get to the fastball when he needs it, and it gets up there at 95. It's a hard pitch to pick up because of where he kind of drops down, and it seems like he's pushing the ball towards the plate. But for Michael, he's hitting 9 out of his last 10 games, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 395 clip.
They've been favoring right center field right now. Kadire 1 for 2. Slider just beneath the knees, ball 1. Rockies the last 13, 11 for 77 with runners in scoring position. That's up from last night. 143 was at 129 last night. Fastball off the plate, 2-0.
This might be his only hitter with Corey Dickerson on deck. Might mix and match and go left on left.
Well, that's impressive. When a good fastball hitter is in a 2-0 count, sitting dead red, and you still get the ball by it.
Yeah, I was talking to Dick Enberg tonight in the food room, and we were talking about R.J. Alvarez, and he was just saying how impressed he was with the young kid.
Hard not to be.
Yeah.
This ball lined to right center field, base hit. That'll get Enoa home. Morneau's going to third. Kadire has made it 4-2. For Michael, his 31st RBI. Just the second hit R.J. Alvarez has allowed in his still very brief major league career.
Well, this is why Cuddy won a batting title last year. You swung through the 2-0 fastball. So what do? You make the adjustment, you shorten your swing, and you go with the pitch.
Great approach, huh?
It really was textbook. If you went into, any hitting book, you would see that. Say, okay, swung too hard, the swing was too long the first time. Got to make sure I get my foot down and let the hands work.
Dickerson a line single to right his last time. He's 1 for 2. Ball one on Corey. Rockies, with their victory yesterday, guaranteed themselves of taking the season series from the Padres. They're 10-8 this year. In fact, the only 2 times since 2002 they haven't won the season series against San Diego, 2005 and 2012. 2-0.
Jordan Baker's looking over. Bud Black said, "Where's that pitch?" Jordan Baker heard him say it's way off the plate.
One thing you can't tell on that angle, Huey, is east and west, because if a catcher sets up Wayne and it splits the catcher in two, visually you think it's a strike, but he may have lined up off the plate. 3-0. And you have Rosario on deck.
And also for the managers too, here with the dugouts being sunk down, you're not out the level playing field, so your eyes are already lower and have a more difficult read.
Dickerson cuts it loose. 3-0. It's 3-1. Thanks again for tweeting in your questions during Toyota Talk. We appreciate it each night. You can check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM. Two on. Here's the 3-1. And a big swing and a miss at a 96-mile-an-hour moving fastball. 3-2.
Oh, both up in the same location. You see how that foot wasn't down in the ground before he really started, the ball was coming to the plate? When you're late with your timing with your leg kick, it causes you to swing underneath the ball. That time for Corey, there was no leg kick.
Just spread out.
Just kind of spread out, get the foot up, get it down. When you have a leg kick, and as I said, you don't get the foot down, your timing's late, so you end up dropping the hands. And when you drop the hands, it causes your bat to be slower. And when that happens, you're underneath the ball. That's why it seems like you're swinging uphill.
That ball lined into left center field. That'll bring another run home. And Kadire stops at second as Morneau scores to make it 4-3. 2 walks, 2 singles here in the 6th inning. Darren Balsley in a half sprint to the mound to visit with R.J. Alvarez. First time in his career, albeit a brief one, that he's had any kind of traffic.
And I want to go back to the swings of Corey and how he went about this at bat. So he was ahead in the count 3-0, and then he got a 3-1 pitch, and he had a big swing. Used the leg kick, all of that. This time he gets the RBI single to left field, and it was just a short, I'm going to use my hands, I'm not going to use a whole lot of body. So go to the first one with the leg kick, and I'll show you what I mean when the foot's not down, how the hands will drop down underneath the ball.
Well, it's a definition of what Blake Doyle talks about. All good hitting coaches talk about having a 2-strike approach, and that's
right.
what you're just describing.
Yeah, I mean, you used to hear it all the time in Little League. Choke up with 2 strikes. You don't get that anymore, and guys don't do it really at the big leagues. But it is important.
So just the baby Bulls up there with 1 out, 2 on.
Just to have an approach. So here's the 3-1 pitch that I referenced. Now watch this front leg. Okay, everything goes up, and then he drops the barrel, and he's underneath the ball, swinging uphill. But now we'll go. Now the hit. See, no leg kick, and see how he can bring his hands up and get on top of that ball. Great illustration.
There's a hit-me slider. And Williams frustrated he didn't barrel that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kadire at second, Dickerson at first. Kadire's the tying run. Strike 2. Rutledge on deck. Nick Vincent.
So Campos.
Lionel Campos. Up left side. Amarista makes the catch. 2 outs. I was looking at the pop-up. Did they invoke the infield fly rule there?
Yes, they did.
Thinking about ordinary effort.
Right. And I was watching and looking at Trip Gibson, the third base umpire. He waited. You have to wait till it gets up to its apex before you can decide where it is in relation to the infield. So it goes up, and Tripp's watching. The ball's up in the air. Their hand goes up. That's when he called infield fly.
Rutledge at the plate, ball 1. Rutledge robbed of a hit in the 2nd inning. Sliding catch coming in by Reimer Liriano on a line drive. Also ground ball to short. When Maben is really shallow in center field.
And really over into the off gap. And as hitters, you pick those things up. You'll look out there and see where guys are positioned, especially in the outfield. So that tells you how they're going to try to pitch you. So if you look at that, say, okay, it looks like they're going to pitch me away. Or if he throws a slider, they're going to try to work it away. So I got to, kind of playing into their hands, but I got to look away.
2-1. R.J. Alvarez gave up a hit to Kadire, a hit to Dickerson. He got Rosario to pop out.
But from the forward strike zone, it doesn't look like that's what they're doing. So if you make a mistake, you pull one down into the corner, that's a double, possible triple. 2 RBIs.
And set up away. 2-1. Slider at the knees. It's 2-2.
He sets up away, but it's not in the location that they wanted. He hasn't hit his spots in either previous 4 pitches.
Three and 2, and now the advantage for the Rockies in that the runners will be off. Kadire and Dickerson. (4-3) San Diego, 5 hits apiece. 2 in the inning for the Rockies. We're in the 6th. Rutledge drives this to deep center field. Maben going back will get there and make the catch. Good swing by Josh Rutledge. 2 runs for the Rockies in the 6th. They've tightened it up considerably.
Three deficit here in San Diego. Just saw DJ LeMahieu, so it's time, of course, to play defense, and that's what DJ does. We've been talking about it for the better part of the last month, and whether he's going to maybe and hopefully get a Gold Glove. Number 1 in assists, number 2 in putouts, number 1 in defensive games at second, and double plays third. And you can look at the numbers that prove that out for DJ LeMahieu. But I like when I talk to somebody like Michael McHenry, who said, look, I played with the Pirates the last couple of years in that division. I saw Neil Walker every day, basically, and I saw Brandon Phillips, and he said DJ is better. And then today, before the game, I watched Bud Black make his way over to DJ LeMahieu. I said, what did he say to you? DJ said, he just said, I really like the way you play second base. That was a great play that you made last night, and I think it's that kind of a compliment that players take. Jeff, you know that more so than anything else from another manager after what he did last night.
Well, and to have the manager seek you out and say, hey, I like the way you play. I mean, even though you beat us with that play last night, I respect you on the baseball field. Bud's been around a long time, player, coaching now, managing. For him to just single DJ out, that's a special honor.
Sure it is.
You were talking about his errors. He's made 6 this year. He made 3 in July, 1 in the first couple of months of the season, and then a couple basically since July. That's it with 152 games played. You look at games played, everybody else has more than him. Only 6 errors. He's made 11 as a second baseman with the Rockies.
And I think a couple of those errors, too, if I'm not mistaken, were the kind where you're trying to complete a double play and maybe shouldn't have made that throw, and the ball skips by and goes into the dugout.
Maybe even a relay or something, too, Jeff.
Yeah, there was a relay to third that went into the dugout.
Rob Scahill hits the strike zone against Tommy Medica, and it's 0-1 on Medica. 3-run home run and a double for Medica tonight. DJ's defense has been out of this world. Think back to the trade that Dan O'Dowd orchestrated. It was Ian Stewart and Casey Weathers. Weathers never got to the big leagues for the Rockies or Chicago, but those were the two traded to Chicago, and the Rockies in return got Tyler Colvin, who had a really good first year for the Rockies. Okay, his second year he had back issues and has since moved on. We saw him for a while with the Giants this year. And DJ LeMahieu. And DJ was more of a bit player initially, and Colvin looked to be the prize. And again, Colvin had a really good year when he had 20-plus home runs for the Rockies that first year, somewhere around there. And now DJ's become their everyday second baseman, could win a Gold Glove. Ian Stewart never really panned out with the Cubs, and he's now in the Angels organization.
And we saw the numbers. We had them on the graphic with the fielding percentage for DJ, where he ranks for assists per ball game. And another name that I've heard kind of bantered around for maybe a Gold Glove would be D. Gordon in L.A. But D's 6th in the National League in fielding percentage. He's 6th in assists per game. So he has less range than DJ. And the fielding percentage is not even in the 90s.
There are different metrics used than in years past. Scahill walks Medica leading off. In addition to the eyeball test. Reimer Liriano coming up.
Well, looking for a unique venue to hold your holiday event? Well, with its fantastic event spaces and on-site catering, Coors Field. It's your answer. For more information, call 303 Rockies. Host your holiday party at Coors Field.
There's a strike.
Lefty Rex Brothers in the bullpen for Colorado.
One and one. Medica takes off, throw to second, not going to get him. It was high. Good throw, probably would have nailed him for Rosario.
It was a
Medica
hit
with
run.
a stolen base.
Takes off, quick glance back. And it just didn't finish. Just dropped the elbow too much, did Moline, and caused the ball to sail to second. Sixth stolen base for Medica.
Sliders low, 2-2 on Liriano. The strikeouts tonight for the Padre right fielder. Good pitch. Another strikeout for Liriano. One out in the 6th inning. Adam Moore will come up.
Just challenge him with the good old country hardball.
Yeah, but
with a little sink on it.
That thing has a ton of sink on it.
Sink at 93.
He's a former Mariner and Royal, Adam Moore.
Traded at the end of spring training. Cash considerations.
Padres 1 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position. The Rockies 2 for 5. 4-3 Padres. Bottom of the 6th inning. Flande went 4 innings, 4 runs, 4 hits, a walk, 4 punch-outs. He hit a batter in his final appearance of 2014. After tonight, the Rockies have 3 more in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. Two balls and a strike on Moore. And that's bounced out. Giants are leading the Dodgers, and Clayton Kershaw right now in the 5th inning, 1-0. Did you know that money generated from hunting and fishing in our state creates jobs and protects wildlife? So when you see a hunter or angler, give them a hug. Learn more at hugahunter.com. Two sliders off the plate, 3-2.
Pace has kind of slowed down from the first 2 or 3 innings.
Considerably. Rob's more of a deliberate guy. It's a little more time between pitches.
Just have to make sure you don't get on your heels, though, defensively.
Yeah, he walks Moore, second walk of the inning. And that'll bring up Alexi Amarista.
Rex was ready out in the bullpen.
Yeah, wondering if Walt's going to come and get Scahill. He will. So Brothers will come in, 2 on and 1 out to face Amarista. 4-3 in the 6th inning. The Padres up a run. link to what's next. Here's the matchups in the 3-game set at Dodger Stadium. Jordan Lyles for the Rockies, Roberto Hernandez Friday for LA, Eddie Butler on Saturday against Dan Herron, and then Christian Bergman against maybe Zach Greinke. The reason I say maybe is if the Dodgers have clinched, they're going to arrange their rotation. And you know it's going to be Kershaw game 1, Greinke game 2. So that's to be determined.
Or he just uses it as a tune-up where he goes out for a couple innings and then
that's a possibility also.
Comes out. Go to more of a bullpen day to get the guys ready to get going. For Rex, 71st appearance of the season. That's tied for 8th in the National League. He's a 3 for 6 career-wise.
He hangs in against lefties. We've noticed that in this series. 2 on and 1 out. 0-1.
Ready for Amarista this year. He set career highs in walks, hits, home runs, RBIs.
Coming into the year,
stolen bases.
He played only 26 games at shortstop. This is line to left, and Dickerson was playing shallow. He played only 26 games at short. He played well over 100, close to 140 in the outfield. But he's been needed at shortstop with Everett Cabrera out, and he's done a really good job. 2 gone. Got a pinch hitter here for
Rivera.
San Diego, and it will be Rene Rivera. Medic at second runs well. Adam Moore at first. Average speed.
Take a look back at this catch against Rivera for Brandon Barnes last night.
That was leading off the 8th inning. It would have tied it because a few minutes earlier, Drew Stubbs had given the Rockies a 3-2 lead. And then Rivera talking to Barnes and Kadire earlier.
Yeah, I thought it was a home run. How'd you catch it? Well, I just made a really good play.
Changeup. I don't see him throw that much. Usually fastball slider from Rex.
The Padres as a whole, their Achilles heel has been hitting the off speed.
Thing I was thinking about, I thought this is where you were going. Got through a number of catchers over the years. They hoped that Todd Hundley would be that guy. They finally moved Todd along. He's now in Baltimore.
No, Nick Hundley.
Nick Hundley, I'm sorry. Todd was really good. Todd hit a lot of home runs. Moved Nick Hundley along. Remember they had Ben Davis years ago. Thought he was, he was a high pick. That's a strike. 3-1. Then they got Yasmani Grandal. They thought he was the guy. Now he's playing more first base and kind of a veteran catch and throw. I put quotations around that. A guy like Rene Rivera has opened some eyes, got himself in better shape, and has swung the bat really well for them. Now he may have this job next year. And now the bases are loaded. Farrell walks on 5 pitches, something that has plagued Rex all year long. Lack of command. And Solarte will come up. 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
I think you want to flip him back over to the left side where he's about 130 points lower hitting. And that's what Walt's going to do. Going to go in for the double switch. Bring in Belisle. Charlie
take
Culberson
Rutledge off the field. Brothers will depart, and his good friend Matt Belisle will come on. (4-3) San Diego. Bases loaded, 2 outs when we return.
Practice.
Matt Belisle getting loose. The Padres have the bases loaded. They don't have a hit, though, in the inning. 3 walks, 2 by Rob Scahill, 1 by Rex Brothers. Switch hitting third baseman Yangervis Solarte will come up from the left side.
It'll be up to Matt to clean up this inning with the 3 walks, and you say, well, left, right. Well, Solarte's hitting .226 left-handed, .352 right-handed. That's why you made the switch. Get out of this inning and keep it just to a one-run game.
Dodgers have tied up the Giants 1-1. They went to their big bopper to get it done.
Probably talking about Clayton Kershaw.
He tripled in a run.
First career triple.
Yep. So bases loaded. Solarte takes a curveball for a strike. Good idea. Well executed by Matt Belisle.
It's the last pitch that Solarte thought was going to be thrown.
Ball's fouled off, and it's 0-2. That is going to be playable at foul ground. So Matt puts the inning down, gets the foul out to Ynoa, and the Padres leave the bases loaded. We'll go to the 7th. LeMahieu will lead it off in a 1-run game.
And I know that you and Barnesy, you've talked pinch hitting this year. So Drew and Jeff, 53 pinch hits for Ryan Spilborghs in his Rockies career.
Quite a number, quite an accomplishment. When he started, Spilly was effective also.
Well, it's something that you have to really embrace that role. You can't just say, well, poor me, I should have had 3 or 4 at bats tonight.
Whatever the job is, that particular ball game. LeMahieu couldn't hold up, and it's 1-2. Nick Vincent was in the ball game for a couple of outs on Monday night. LeMahieu, Culberson, Charlie Blackmon. Rockies trailing 4-3.
That 89-mile-an-hour fastball just seems harder than that for Vincent. He's pretty quick motion as he comes, brings the ball up. Everything's fast, and so you're expecting the ball to be there, and then it gets on you. For Vincent, a batting average of .216 against. Just another one of those bullpen guys for San Diego.
Think about this. The Padres at home this year, the league's hit .219 against them. .219 at Petco Park. This is like an offensive explosion. Looking up there and seeing that there's 7 runs combined on the scoreboard. It's more than the average. And there's that fastball that gets on you quick. Sneaky fastball and a strikeout of LeMahieu for Vincent. 1 out. Charlie Culberson will come up.
Climb the ladder, get up. It wasn't where Moore had set up. Vincent had enough to get it by DJ. But for the Padres, they ranked second with their ERA, first in save percentage, 5th in fewest home runs allowed, and second batting average, lowest batting average by the opposition.
Well, their .322 club ERA, the second lowest in the big leagues, but it's the lowest in Padre history. Slightly lower by percentage points than the 71 team. That's why they're 75 and 82 with the worst hitting offense in the game.
They've tailored their ball club to this ballpark. In the last 28 games, or 38 games, excuse me, they're 28-10 at Petco. 28-10.
And that's the best during that period of time, the best mark in baseball. Home mark. Lifted to center field, Maben with his arms outstretched. Cameron has it, 2 gone. Culberson retired. Charlie Blackmon will come up next.
Well, it's not too late to participate in Batter Up for Kids. When you select a Rockies player at Rockies.com/batterup, you commit to donate for every hit he has for either a half or a full season. Of course, just the last 3 or 4 games here, but proceeds go to Children's Hospital Colorado and Special Olympics Colorado. Batter Up for Kids. Back a player today, and proceeds go to 2 wonderful organizations.
Blackmon, a home run in the first inning. And this ball's lined to center field, but Maben is positioned perfectly. Vincent works a 1-2-3-7, 4-3. San Diego. Alexis looked back. Rockies got a quick start. Charlie Blackmon led off the ball game, got a curveball, and hit it out against Joe Whelan. 19th home run of the season, 5th leadoff home run this year for Blackmon. But in the bottom of the first, Johan Flande, who's usually outstanding early in a game, gave up a 3-run home run to Tommy Medica. That made it 3-1. It was 4-1. The Rockies came back in the 6th inning. Kadire an RBI single. And then with 2 strikes, an RBI single against R.J. Alvarez from Corey Dickerson. 4-3 is where we stand, and the sliders in there. Strike 1 on Cameron Maybin. That look back brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address. Beautiful store in Greenwood Village and also down in Colorado Springs. One ball, one strike. Maybin just 5 for 36 this year against the Rockies.
Oh, good play. Quick reactions.
And Belisle's got Maybin one gone. That will bring to the plate Jed Jerko. Jerko tonight 0 for 3. Ball hard against De La Rosa, which he typically does. Last night, De La walked him twice and then gave up a single. De La Rosa, if you missed it, completed his season with a no decision. So he finishes the year after going 6 innings last night, couple runs, 7 hits, 4 walks, 7 punch-outs. 14-11 record, 4.10 ERA for De La Rosa.
Well, think about this. The last 2 years for him, 62 starts. He's 30-17. And that's tied for 6th most as far as wins go in the National League during that stretch.
With a team that over that period of time lost more than 180 games.
If you're thinking about it, Adam Wainwright is the leader during the last 2 years. He's 39-18. Kershaw's 36-12.
It's really remarkable, isn't it?
And for Dela, 30-17.
Strike 3 on Jerko.
Last
right there.
Yeah, last 2 at bats for Jerko. He's taking a called 3rd strike. This time it was a fastball. Last at bat it was a curveball.
So Grandal 1 for 2, and he's been hit by a pitch. He has scored 2 of the 4 runs tonight for the Padres. He'll take his turn. 2 outs, nobody on. Belisle working here, bottom of 7 in San Diego. And this is a blooper. DJ makes the catch. He had to reroute in the middle. Did you see that?
I did. And then caught it at the end. A little snow cone. No problem, though.
Not for him. For most others, though.
To the 8th inning, and the Rockies still trailing by a score of 4-3. Let's get you tonight's AT&T Colorado fan photo. I'm going to show you Carol and Charla. They were here last night because last night Charla was celebrating being cancer-free. And you can see Charla on the right. They were right over the Rockies dugout, guys. They were getting autographs, having a great time, and they got to see a great Rockies road win last night.
Yes, they did, and they hopefully are here tonight enjoying the ball game also. It's a good ball game. Kevin Quackenbush, guess he won't close tonight.
Guess not. I guess they're going to think about bringing Benoit if they have that lead in who had been their closer. Quackenbush had filled in that role.
Rafael Enoa, Justin Morneau, Michael Kadire here in the 8th inning.
Quackenbush closed out the game on Monday night for his 6th save.
Noah takes a big hack, fouled off, 1 ball, 1 strike. Rafael has been on twice, 0 for 1, 2 walks. He has a 6-game hitting streak on the line. Led off last night, went 1 for 4 with a double. Rockies have 5 hits, 5 hits for the Padres. Yasiel Puig has just hit his 16th home run, and the Dodgers in the 6th inning have taken a 2-1 lead behind Clayton Kershaw.
Kershaw got out of a 2nd and 3rd 2-out last inning.
Maben in center field. 1 out. The Rockies are at 500 inside the division, 36-36. And Jeff, the only team they'll have a losing record against this year inside the division is the Dodgers. Won the season series against the Giants, Arizona. By virtue of their win last night, they've won the season series again against San Diego. They have a winning record all time here at Petco. It's the only stadium in the NL West they can make that claim. This ball's well hit to center field, but this time of night it's going to die in Maben's glove. Justin Morneau 0 for 3. Still will wake up in first place in the batting race tomorrow because Josh Harrison went 1 for 5. Kadire's had a productive evening, typically does. 2 for 3. RBI single his last time up. It's averaging 331 this year. Last year he hit 331 and capturing the NL batting title.
He just keeps getting better with age, like a fine wine. Goes out there. I know he's had the injuries this year. People might think, well, he's starting to get that. Well, the one he had at third base is because he volunteered to go over and play third base. You know, and that was just a freak thing.
That's how I look at it, Jeff.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think that's a freakish type of injury, not one that you can attribute to, well, you know, he's in his mid-30s, the body's breaking down. He dove and he broke his shoulder.
Right. But in playing a position that he hadn't played one. If you've ever dreamed of becoming a Colorado Rocky, you can do that. Sign up for Fantasy Camp now, taking place at Salt River Field at Talking 6, February 4th through the 8th, 2015. Visit Rockies.com/fantasy camp for details.
How about a 3 for 4 ball game? So Kadire keeps it alive for Dickerson, who's 2 for 3 himself.
A hard thrower in Quackenbush and a guy that swings hard in Corey. Sometimes that leads to long, loud home runs.
Corey's leading the club in home runs with 24, second in ribbies with 76. Four-3 San Diego. Here's the 0-1. This ball's lined to right. Kadyr's going to go first to third. And this throw gets by. Dickerson will move up, as nobody was able to corral the baseball. Got by Quackenbush, who was backing up. Solarte still down on one knee. So now, because of the error, a base hit here with 2 outs, and the Rockies could take the lead.
You have a single and then a throwing error on Liriano, his third this season. As deep as he was playing, he had no shot at Michael at third base. I mean, that's just not a well-advised throw. Rockies will take it because you get the throw there. See how many steps it took for him to get rid of it? And then the collision where Michael slides into the left hand of Solarte.
Solarte had no glove.
No. Ends up taking the glove off. If Quackenbush wasn't smart backing up the play, that's a run, and then another guy over at third base. But instead, Corey saw where the throw went with the air. He moves up, and you have 2 guys out there for one of the hottest guys going, and will lead. This is what you're taught. If that guy's right by the bag, you go right after him. There's nothing dirty about the play. You just don't know where the ball's coming, so you try to angle your body so if the ball does come out, it hits you in the back.
Perfect. Little things, subtle things. Michael Cuddyer always playing the game right. Standing with Stu Cole. Rosario a chance to give the Rockies the lead. 2 outs in the 8th inning. Bud Black now wants to check on Solarte. So Caddyer's 3 for 4, Huey. Dickerson's 3 for 4. The only other hit for the Rockies was Blackman's home run leading off the game. Solarte's going to stay in.
This is where you'd like to have the approach if you're Willeen, like he had when he pinch hit 2 nights ago with the base hit up the middle. You do that again, you score 2 runs.
So again, Cuddyer and Dickerson 6 for 8. Everybody else 1 for 21. Actually, let me correct that. 1 for 18. There's 3 walks. Willeen, strikeout, ground out, pop out. One and one. Ball's in there. It's 1 and 2.
Now you have to use the approach that Corey had in his at bat in the 6th inning. To spread out, use your hands. You're part of the 2 for 5 with the runners in scoring position for Colorado when Corey hit that base hit to left center.
Got him on a curveball. So the Rockies threaten. Quackenbush strikes out Rosario, Kadire, and Dickerson left in scoring position. 4-3, middle of 8, Padres. Rockies get a day off tomorrow before they take on the Dodgers in the final series of the season. Make sure to tune into the pregame show on Root Sports on Friday night starting at 7:30 from Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers have just taken a 4-1 lead at Dodger Stadium against the Giants. Javi Lopez, the former Rocky, with 2 on left against Carl Crawford. Crawford lined a double to the right field corner, clearing the bases, and it's 4-1. LA with Kershaw on the mound.
They scored Matt Kemp and Hanley Ramirez. On the hill now for Colorado is the winner last night, Juan Nicasio. Came in and pitched 1 inning. Gave up 1 hit, but he was the winning pitcher to stand at 6-6 now on the season.
Matt Belisle did a nice job. Faced 4 hitters, got them all out, including a strikeout. Tommy Medica, 3-run home run, a double, and a walk. Stolen base. Been his best offensive ball game in about a month. Medica has 9 home runs this season. 3 have come against Colorado. And a slider's in there for a strike. Rockies in the 9th inning will have a pinch hitter. And DJ LeMahieu, Charlie Culberson are the ones scheduled. Rockies have a pretty full complement on the bench. And I'm sure you're going to see a couple of pinch hitters. On the left side.
Paulson from the left side that he could do it. You still have Brandon Barnes. Chronicled his pinch hitting abilities earlier in the broadcast. McHenry.
Slowly hit the second. DJ makes the play, 1 out. Reimer Liriano will come to the plate. Reimer trying to avoid the golden sombrero. Up 3 times, 3 punch outs. Rockies will face Joaquin Benoit in the 9th inning, returning to his closer's role.
That's not a sure thing for San Diego. He'd been dealing with arm issues, pitched on Sunday, and they didn't want to bring him back so soon. So
Quackenbush, as we discussed, had been closing.
So
you may need a parachute for him, but just in case, right?
Right.
There's Benoit. His first game back in almost a month.
That's why it's imperative that Juan keep this at a one-run game.
In there for a strike, 3-1. Liriano. And here's the 3-1. On the ground, through the left side, a base hit.
Turns on the fastball.
North of here, Juan Uribe. Speaking of former Rockies, an RBI single. It's now 5-1 Los Angeles. If they hold on, they'll be pouring champagne tonight. Who got to the big leagues first, you or Uribe? Right?
Yeah, I know.
I think Uribe got there in 2000.
Yeah, that was my last year. So, but I tell you, Juan, it just he goes and just doesn't seem like he ages.
Guess not. Actually made his debut April 8th, 2001. Moore hits a fly ball to Kadire in right. 2 outs. Shoot, by April 2001, you'd gain 30 pounds.
Right, that's just playing for the tie now. Just work out enough so I can still eat.
Yeah, you're doing something right. Alexi Amarista 2 for 12 lifetime against Juan Nicasio.
We're going to go to the bullpen and bring in the left-hander Christian Friedrich.
Here comes Christian. We'll run off to break. 4-3 Padres in the 8th, leading the Rockies. Christian.
Well, and you also, I mean, this is looking forward to next year. You're thinking about bringing in Christian in this spot. You know, Almaris is not a big power hitter, but you still need to see left on left, see how he reacts and see what happens.
Liriano was going.
Almaris hitting 196 against left-handers.
That gets your attention. One
Yes,
ball,
it
one
does.
strike.
I might just throw over here to see if he takes off. No, not going.
2-1. This is in the air to Dickerson down the left field line, and the foul ground. Corey makes the catch. So we'll go to the ninth inning. The Rockies trail 4-3. They'll face Benoit. Colorado Department of Wildlife. Money generated from hunters and anglers creates jobs and protects wildlife, so give one a hug. Learn more at hugahunter.com. Ninth inning at Petco Park in San Diego. Padres leading the Rockies 4-3. Rockies will have a pinch hitter initially. Looks like Brandon Barnes. So against Joaquin Benoit, let's go to Denver and check in with Jen. Absolutely, Jenny, Spilly, thank you. So Barnes will get the first crack at Benoit, who's made just one appearance since missing the better part of a month with right shoulder soreness. This season, 9 of 10 in save opportunities. And you say, well, why so few? Remember, Houston Street was handling the closing duties the first 3 months of the season, actually the first 4 months of the season.
Benoit, the appearance that you referenced was on Sunday. His first game since he pitched against Milwaukee way back in August. So see how sharp he is. That'll be the key for Brandon. He's been loose since probably about the third inning, where he's been hitting down in the cage.
And this ball's tatered to deep left field. Venable, who just checked in, is out there. He got a good jump and hauls it in on the warning track. Barnes gave it a ride, 1 out.
And that's why Bud Black put Venable out there, because of his defense. He's done it in all 3 games where he put him into left field for Medica.
He's a center fielder by trade. LeMahieu now with 1 out. Then Paulson's come out in the on-deck circle. Or is that Drew Stubbs?
That's Stubbs.
Yep, Stubbs down there. Excuse me. Anthony's a strike. Auto glass damage. Call SafeLight 303-287-5000 or check them out online at safelight.com. DJ's 0 for 3. Rockies have 7 hits. 2 guys have 6 of them. Kadire and Dickerson, both with 3 hits. Blackman led the game off with a home run. Rockies got 2 in the 6th on RBI hits by Kadire and Dickerson. 1 out in the 9th, trailing 4-3. Another one of those 1-run games in San Diego. 1-2.
Good movement on the last fastball from Benoit.
He came in at 96, so the shoulder's not sore anymore.
No, it doesn't look like it on that pitch. Going right back to it.
Two outs.
Will be Drew Stubbs.
Stubbs will hit for Culberson. Well, can he do it again? Here's what he did in the 8th inning last night.
And this was on a slider from Dale Thayer. He said he was looking for a fastball, but then stayed with the slider.
Stubbs. One and one, top of the strike zone. Maybe a bit inside.
Changeup.
Down low. 2-1. Padres lost a 1-run game last night. Just their 2nd loss in their last 11 games in 1-run affairs at home. Their record in 1-run games is without parallel in the game this year. Here's the 2-1. And that's a slider and misses 3-1. Blackman hoping for an opportunity. Charlie's next.
If Drew gets on, he has the speed too to either steal a base or score on an extra base hit.
Outfield naturally playing no doubles, very deep, swung toward right center field. Here's the 3-1 to Drew Stubbs.
Oh, tough pitcher's pitch on 3-1. That's more of a pitch when you're sitting at 0-1.
Yeah,
dotted that corner.
Yeah, that had some fuzz on it too. 3-2. On the ground is short. Amarista to first. And the Padres prevail 4-3. And they remain perfect in the second half in winning home series. They take 2 of 3 from the Rockies, 9-0-1 in the second half at home. This is their final home game of 2014, and it's their 48th home victory, which is a new Petco record for them. They had 47 back in 2007, and Joe Whelan's the winning pitcher, which is his first major league victory. Flande takes the loss. He's 0-6. Benoit, his 10th save. Our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. It came in the first inning. The slumping Tommy Medica, 2 on and 2 outs.